Hello. How is everyone doing this evening? Welcome in, Medium Ginny Lee. Looking good. That's good. Excellent. Excellent. Messing around with some volume stuff real quick so I can get up. Hey, what's going on, Hoaxsters? How you doing? Hopefully you're doing well this evening. Time for the Thursday night stream, our Thursday stream. And for the Thursday stream, I brought out the Runic Tarot. I haven't done many readings with them. I want to break them in some more. You're tired but doable. I get that. I was napping just a bit. I was napping just a bit, kind of. Like, not really napping, but like, you know, just kind of laying down. We were almost getting ready to fall asleep, and then I was like, I gotta get down and get the stream going, so I'm a little late. So I get the tired thing. Naps are good. Naps are good. Busy day today. I had to make a run back to where we used to live to go get some more boxes from the storage unit. So on the road quite a bit today, but all in all, not a bad day. Not a bad day at all. One more. I think we got enough stuff in the storage unit. I might have to make one more run with my pick 'em up truck. And then we ought to be good to go. Then we should be good. Hey Amber, how are you doing this evening? Welcome in, welcome in. So yeah, other than that, not a whole lot going on today. We didn't have a whole lot else going on. I mean, I took a good majority of the day, to be honest. That was about 4 hours round trip to get up there and back. So we're almost there. Good, hanging in there, same old. Still getting settled in, getting stuff straight. Just I had to go get another run from a storage unit today, so that kept me busy. Scarlett says hi. Hi, Scarlett. Hey, Keisha, welcome in. How are you doing? So yeah, readings tonight. Same as Monday night. Although I do have another deck out this evening as well. I did get out the Runic Tarot. I have the Wizards deck. And then, of course, the runes and all that stuff. We'll get going in just a minute. I do want to get my... Okay, there we go. So, Hoaxers, you first in the queue? It looks like it. That's not going to do. The Steve is not the queue. You want a rune or do you want a tarot reading, Hoaxers? You are whooped, Keisha. Let's see. Was flooded and a couple of us had to stop every 30 minutes. Oh, man. That's crazy. You know, I went into Best Buy the other day, and their roof. It was when we were having those crazy rainstorms here, and they had buckets out everywhere, and they had pretty much emptied all of their merch off the counters. Like they didn't have anything in the store. Like they had some TVs up and like a couple things on the shelves here and there, but it looked like they pretty much had to like take everything off the shelves. And I was going to get a new camera for streaming. I want to get the one that Jimmy has, and then I can kind of, you can turn it like side to side, so I can kind of angle it back towards this way. So kind of take away, I don't know. Anyway, not a big deal. But I wanted to go get the camera, and they didn't have it in stock. But then I started looking, and they didn't have anything in stock. They didn't have anything in stock because I guess because of the rain issues that we're having with the flooding. You want a general reading, and you feel a rune night for you. Okay. Just another day at JCPenney's.
Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Definitely does. A wizard is never late. Thank you for the follow, Ricia. Or hold on, let me try that again. Risica. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Target is better. Just saying. I don't know. I don't know if I want to jump in on this one. We went into a shop today that had about 3 buckets on the floor catching water. Wow, it's just that rain we've had. And you know, something else we had today, it looks like we had more Canada smoke today. We had like an alert to like not go outside. And if you had outdoor plans, to change them to indoor plans. So I was originally planning on going for a run. I went for a run for the first time in forever the day before yesterday. And I was planning on going this afternoon. And the smoke was so bad, I thought it was probably better not to. So I'm going to try to do that tomorrow morning. Hoaxer says, well, it's basis and actually a true statement from me about Target being greater than JCPenney. Can you compare JCPenney and Target though? Shouldn't that be like more like comparable to like, well, I guess you can't compare it with Sears because Sears is out of business, but like Macy's and Hex and Marshalls, wouldn't they be more comparable? And then you have Target and Walmart and like Kmart's not in business anymore. I guess you could say Kohl's. It's doing well, Riska. Doing pretty good. Getting ready to start doing some readings here. You had a waist-high rolling trash cart going tomorrow morning, and it's everywhere but cleaned out and dumped everything an hour before closing. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. Yeah, you can compare the clothing, I guess, for sure. Hoaxers. I hate to say it, but I'm kind of a Walmart guy. Like, I don't really like Walmart. But if I have to grab something, that's usually my first go-to. Target, I go to Target too. It's weird for me now because now I'm not in the country anymore. So now I live around all these places. So I'm actually going to have to like go into different places and figure stuff out. What are rune readings like? I've never seen that before. Well, runes date back all the way to pre-Viking. So Old Norse. I can show you one real quick. They date back to pre-Norse, 2, 3, 400 the year, and they were the way that people in Germany and Scandinavia developed writing, but it had a spiritual connection to them, representation. Some of that's been lost. Some of that's been rediscovered. Some of that's been changed. But we know the Vikings cast the runes. There's a whole origin story we can go over one day, maybe. That would be kind of cool to do. If you don't know where the runes came from, the story with Odin and the World Tree. But anyway, we kind of take what we know of the runes, and it works very similarly to tarot. I could start doing rune casting, but I would have to change my setup a little bit where I could actually have like a larger area to like throw the runes. So I do the runes similarly to how you would do tarot, but the runes read a little differently. They're a little bit more direct, I think sometimes, than tarot can be. I don't know. But anyway, Hoaxer's is getting ready to get one, so you can check it out. Yeah, and I'm not, like I usually wear band shirts and like shorts, so I'm not I'm not really shopping for anything. JCPenney is where your grandpa goes to wear stuff from the good old days, where everything is overpriced and you hope for a doorbuster for a good price, which starts tomorrow through July 4th. Well, I might be wondering, Keisha, because I need to get some stuff for work at some point, and I'm running low on shorts. I've got holes in my back pockets, so I need to. My mom shopped at JCPenney, so growing up, I think half my clothes probably came from JCPenney's, or my good stuff anyway. There you go. That's all I know, Keisha, is useless information. My brain is so full of useless information, I can't remember the stuff I need to remember. I think your internet's playing up tonight. I get about 5 seconds every 2 minutes, but you are all amazing humans and love you all. I'll try to refresh stuff and come back in a bit. Sorry, Keisha, I know you've been having some issues with that. Hopefully it straightens out for you. CMC, what's going on? How are you doing, my friend? Welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, it's time for a Walmart trip. It's amazing because we live like right in town now. So like the mall and all that stuff is like, I don't know, it's 5 minutes away. And where we lived before is like 45 minutes away. So we didn't go out very often. Like once a week maybe. But now it's like every day we're just out. So it's been different. Yeah, guitars in the background. I'm getting ready to hang them. I'll show you real quick, CMC. Give me 1 second. So, for my birthday, Medium J. Lee and my kids got me a couple of these. So I'm going to hang them on the wall back above where they're sitting right now. I have 2 of them. And they have like some lights like blue lights below it. So we'll go with the blue lights we got going on back there. So I can have some of my electrics hanging up there, but I just have to get that all put together and put up, and I haven't gotten everything unpacked yet, so I could probably go ahead and pack them now, or install it, like put it up. But I was kind of waiting to make sure I didn't have to do anything else, but at this point we're almost at the point where it's like you just gotta start doing stuff or nothing's gonna get done. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So I'll be working on that soon. And then I know CMC's asked me before, so since we're here, I'll show them. This is kind of my main guitar. This is my newest guitar. It's a Schecter Hellraiser. So that's what I have been playing the most. And then I have a Jackson Dinky that I play quite a bit. And my first guitar, I still have my first electric. I don't get rid of guitars, by the way. Like every guitar I get, I have 5 guitars and a bass guitar, and so they've all I have them all. So this is my newest one, and that's kind of my baby. It's got the EMGs in it, and then I have the Jackson Dinky, and then I have my first one, which was a Washburn. I can't remember the model name on it, but it's like a late 80s Washburn kind of Fender, like Strat style. And then I have my 2 acoustics. Yeah, you can't get rid of guitars. I mean, it's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like I don't know. I mean, would you get rid of tarot cards? I mean, I guess some people do. I feel like you almost have a bond with it. Yeah, for sure. So, anyway, so that's that one. I said I was going to show it to you at some point. I might have posted a picture of it at some point, but a guitar is a good collective piece to have. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's something to talk about. Or, I could see even if you didn't play, you might have friends and stuff that do. So having a guitar at the house, if you have friends, if you want to play some, and they come over, usually if a guitar player sees a guitar, they're going to pick it up. Go ahead and warm up your leftovers, Risica. No problem. No problem at all. So that's it. And then I started playing bass just last summer. And so I've been having fun kind of playing around with that. And I have thought about getting some guys together and guys and gals together and trying to play again. We'll see what happens. All right, hoaxers, let's go ahead. I know you've been patiently waiting here, so let's see what we can get done. I'm actually going to try something new for you tonight, hoaxers. I am going to cast Okay, let's see what we have here. We have Othala here in the middle, which is all about the home and about ancestral roots, about moving forward. It's a wealth. It's a rune of wealth, and that can be material, spiritual, a wealth of knowledge. And really, this is talking about how it's talking about legacy. How are people going to remember you? How are people going to, what kind of legacy are you going to leave down to the people that come after you? And the cool thing about that I haven't done a lot of, and this is one of the reasons I want to start doing it, is because you can also start taking a look at the relationship and how these fall and their connections with each other. And I almost feel like that's like in a neutral position, like it's not up, it's not reversed. So we'll keep an eye on that as we go along with what else we have on this reading. Just going through here because I wanted to look at a couple of things real quick. All right, in this bottom position, we have Wunyo, which is a rune of joy. There's also a thing of joy with the home in Othala as well. So we have joy being here in these first two cards, prosperity gains associated with hope, harmony, and perfection. You must apply your will to make things happen. Manifestation. This rune can bring in friends and family because that's often where we find our joy. And that's interesting too, because the home was talking about, the family and ancestral roots. So we're getting a lot of stuff right now about joy. We're getting a lot of stuff about friends and family, and we're getting some things about prosperity. I want to check out one more thing for you too, Huxers.
A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Thank you for the follow, Heretic Williams Farms. How are you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. We're just in the middle of doing a rune cast right now. Okay. So this top rune here is Ing. And this is also a positive rune. And almost always means some kind of success. It indicates the force available to you at this time. The force is available for you to complete any project's successful conclusion. this can also have a connection with like a milestone marker for you. So like a birthday, an anniversary, a new job. This usually marks that something new is happening for you, hoaxers. It can also indicate the end of an old phase and the beginning of a new phase. So if we kind of look at this together, this kind of came out on top. For me, this is the bottom, but I'm looking at it upside down. So this is the bottom, this is the middle, this is the top. A whole lot of stuff here in the middle about home and ancestral and legacy, this new phase that's beginning, and then joy and manifestation. I feel like this is a really good aura for you going into the future. A lot of joy, a lot of family and friends, a lot of manifestation, and a rune that symbolizes kind of a new beginning, and that a rune that what you're going to work on is going to come to some kind of good completion. New job, potential changes, masculine energy healing. Masculine energy healing. Hopefully that makes some sense for you, hoaxsters. You love that follow clip, Jenny. I do too. Welcome in again, Heretic Williams Farm. I'm balanced in the middle of a storm. Are you having? We've been having crazy storms here as well. So hopefully you are. You say you are balanced. That's great. Hopefully you are safe as well, and we don't have. Just before you came in, we were talking about all the flooding that is happening at a bunch of places where people are working and stores we're going to. So hopefully everything is good for you. I get manifest and future growth from my personal tarot read and one dream I had for the whole of June with other infos. Yeah, it really does kind of sound like a new beginning, a new job, a new relationship. It was definitely leading somewhere to that. And then there's this whole idea of the Thala where it's talking about legacy, and then the in card is also a good fertility symbol for the masculine energy. So I don't know, hoaxers. Oh, thank you, Amber. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I had a crazy dream last night. I haven't said anything about it yet. I usually don't remember my dreams, but last night I had a dream. I had a dream that I was like a pharaoh in ancient Egypt, but it was like a modern ancient Egypt kind of. It was like if ancient Egypt, I don't know, it was weird. Let's just say ancient Egypt to keep it straight, with like pyramids and all that stuff. And I was being carried like through the desert and like through all of these crazy like ancient temples and stuff, and it was like a parade to this giant pyramid. And when they got me all the way to the very top, I realized that they were going to bury me in the pyramid. And I didn't want to go. I was like, no, that's cool. Like, I'm good. Like, you guys don't have to do that. I'm still alive. And they were like, oh yeah, that's cool. It's just symbolic anyway. And then they like threw like the sarcophagus down the top of the capstone on like the pyramid was removed. So so they just like threw it down there. And then I woke up. But that was weird because it lasted a long time. Like, I can't remember everything that happened in it, but it was like a whole bunch of stuff going on with like me being a pharaoh or a priest or I don't know, something in ancient Egypt. It was really weird. And then it turned into like a death dream and I freaked out. But that was my dream last night, which I don't remember many dreams. So I have no clue. I have no clue. You would like a rune reading. Do you have any particular question or just general, Risika? Like it's one of those dreams where when you say it out loud, it's like whatever. But like in the dream, I was like terrified. Like I was, like they thought it was like having to do with like death. Like they thought I was dead, but I wasn't dead, and I don't want to be entombed. Like I don't know. It was crazy. I'll give you another choice, Risika, because I'm trying something new tonight. Usually I do a 3 rune Norn reading. So I can do a rune for your past, present, and future. And that's set up a little bit more like a rune reading, like a tarot reading, excuse me. Or I just did my first rune cast on here. Where I just kind of toss the runes and what you get is what you get and we kind of make sense out of it. So whichever one you would like, just general. And then, yeah, so just tell me if you want the past, present, future Norn reading or if you just want a rune cast. It's going well, Big Austin K. How are you doing? Okay, let's try the new one. Let's go for it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to... we only had one come right side up. Everything else is upside down. So this is the rune Yera. Yera. And really what it represents, Risika, is the harvest cycle of a year. It's not so much based on the time, but it's based on the idea that of the harvest and having to go through the phase of preparing the soil, planting, going through the growth phase, and then being able to harvest in the fall. And so what this rune talks about specifically is that what you're working on right now, what you're going to achieve is going to be successful. But there might be a time that you have to wait to harvest it. Like nothing happens overnight. You can manifest things, but even the manifestation sometimes has to grow just like everything else. And I'll go to my notes here to see if I miss anything from memory of this. But it comes after the end of the Norns, which are usually a cycle of like stagnation and pause and reflection and kind of like a roadblock. But Yera is the first one after that, and so it's associated with activity. There might be a wait involved and quick results shouldn't be expected, but this rune represents the full year, the planting, the harvest, the full cycle, and you must cultivate what you wish to manifest. So what you want, you can have. You just have to put in the work for it, and you have to reap what you get from the work. But as far as like omens, this is a good omen for trying to achieve whatever you're working on at the time. Okay, so you're in the waiting phase, and that's exactly what this represents. What the outcome is, what this reading says to me is, whatever you want from this outcome, whatever you're waiting on, it's going to happen. It's going to have a positive outcome. You just have to wait for that process. So hopefully, I'll tell you what I'm going to do for you, Risika, because we only got one that came up, which is good, because that means what you needed to hear is what what you got, probably. But I will give you an oracle card that's also runes that might bring a little bit more insight for you. So we have Perthro. We got a crescent moon. And the familiar we have here is the snake. So this represents unknown forces. And I guess, the snake is typically a good symbol for that. But things that represents things that we possibly don't know. Stuff in the universe that's beyond human understanding. And it is a rune that's associated with the Norns that I was talking about earlier, the fates, the past, present, and future. Things that are yet to be, the past knowledge of humankind lies within us. But for reading this is talking about expressing divination. If you are trying to figure something out for the future, if there's something that keeps eluding your grasp, it's not meant for you to know. Now is not the time to try to force fate. And now is the time to let things happen as they will. Let things play out and then come up with a game plan. Trying to figure out what's going on right now for you, according to this rune, is going to be difficult because you're not meant to know the questions that you have. You have that one, Amber? I like it a lot. I love this Oracle deck. It's absolutely perfect in every way for me, except for one. And that's that it's too small. It's tiny. So the way I usually draw tarot is I shuffle for cards, and usually I don't have any problem. The cards I need fall out. But it's hard for me to do it with this because the cards never want to fall out. I can shuffle forever. So I just have to try to get a little rambunctious with it, I guess. But other than that, I love it. It's great. It's a great Oracle deck. So hopefully you were able to take something from that, Rizika. Thank you for getting a reading. You got your first tarot and Oracle decks this last weekend and you're very excited about it. Well, yes, that should be exciting, and good luck with your adventure with that. I'm not an old pro yet. I'm still learning myself, so it's a lot of fun, and it should teach you quite a bit. Amber, I went a little crazy buying decks a while ago, and that was one of them. So I have it packed away, and now I want to get it out again. You pull cards the same way. Yeah, when I started, I was like, am I supposed to know which card is the right card? Like, I don't know what to do. So I was watching somebody read tarot. It might have been Charity, actually. Charity Janice. And I said, well, that looks like as good of a way as any. Instead of having to second guess yourself. If I was actually just choosing each card, I would probably like get in my own way in my head. So right now that works good for me. You've been giving texts away. All right. Okay, so it's your turn, Amber. What kind of reading would you like this evening? Okay, would you like the Norn reading or would you like a Runecast? All right. Well, our Runecast has been going pretty good this evening, so let's try another one. All right, so we'll start with the one that I have at the top. And that one is Bracano, and that is related to the birch goddess. It's a rune of growth, renewal, and fertility. Fertility fuels symbolic growth, relationship and business development of the self, and transformation into a new form. Its action is gentle. Focus on your own self-development, disperse of the things that are keeping you from growing, and then accomplish your work. So all about kind of renewing yourself, self-growth, taking a list of the things that are working for you and the things that aren't working for you and getting rid of that so that you can continue to do what you are meant to do. Right below that, very closely connected to it, is Lagos, which is water, the time to begin to know your inner self. So these two are very closely connected in the cast, and these are very closely connected meaning too. So time to begin to know your inner self, deep spiritual love, unseen power. It's a good omen for relationships. It could symbolize an awakening of your spiritual side, being guided by higher powers, listening to your intuition, listen to your inner voice. And this is connected to that Bracano. What is good for you and what is bad for you, knowing how you want to grow yourself. What do you need to do to better that? It often symbolizes a time for cleansing, like we were just talking about, for reevaluation, for reorganizing and realigning. You may need to study spiritual matters and be ready for self-transformation. So I feel like those two runes are giving you a very very much the same kind of reading. And I don't know if there's anything going on in the relationship part, but we do have a rune of fertility and a rune of relationships that's kind of kicking up here. Okay, and then over to my left, we have Rado. And this is thought to represent Sleipnir, Odin's horse. And this is connected with the journey of life. Taking action, making decisions, movement. The human need to find their path and understand what is right or wrong. It can connect to the spiritual journey or a journey of all kinds. Use judgment to the path. Use judgment in the path and deciding what path you take. Make the right decision and move forward. This is very much the same kind of energy that I'm getting from the other two. There's something I feel like you almost need to let go to get where you need to be. Make the right decision and move forward, no looking back. It can connect adventure. Enjoy the ride, though there will inevitably be tough roads ahead. And for me, this is inverted. So this is also saying that the right path to you right now might be kind of blocked. The path that you need to take to move forward might seem imperceptible, which is related to these two things. Who you're trying to be, where you're trying to go, that path will become known or become clear. You'll know how to take that step once we do that self-growth. And then we have Wunjo down here at the bottom for me, kind of in a neutral position. And that's another good omen. We talked about this one. This is about manifestation. This is about friends and family. This is about not being in isolation, about surrounding yourself with the people that you love, family, friends. Good news, happy times, emotional, romantic, and business relationships, achieving what you have wanted and worked for. So I'm going to get ready to look at chat again to see where we are with this, if this is connecting with you at all. But so far, I very much see like somewhere you want to go. There's stuff you have to work on with yourself. You have to figure out, like you're growing and you have to figure out to keep growing, maybe kind of how you need to refocus that. And there's things that you want to achieve with that path, things that you want with this Wunyo to find joy and peace and happiness, success in business, all of these kinds of things that you might want to achieve. There's also a lot of really good relationship and energy associated with love readings and stuff like that. All right, let's see where we're at. Okay, so that definitely resonates. Releasing what doesn't do. I can focus on the stuff that works. Okay, so you've been hearing this from your readings lately. I'm married with one kid. I think it's creative fertility or maybe rediscovering our relationship as parents. That's very possible. Because in the runes, like there definitely is like fertility stuff, like dealing with the traditional sense of that. But and this, when you're talking about like growing, it's talking about like bettering yourself. And I think it's like fertility in terms of like your personal growth. This is so awesome. Thank you. It definitely resonates. And I totally am working on releasing in relationships big time. Awesome. Well, I'm glad that you were able to take something from that, Amber. Thank you for getting a reading. All my test subjects on rune casting tonight. Big Austin K, it's your turn, my friend. What would you like, a tarot or a rune reading? And do you have a specific question? A general, please. No problem. Would you like the runes or would you like tarot? I broke out all my stuff tonight, so I have lots of questions. Runes, okay. I'm gonna do it a little. I'm gonna do it a little different for you since I've shown everyone kind of the cast. I'll go ahead and do the Norns for you, which will be the past, the present, and the future, if that's okay with you. Okay. So in the past position, so this is going to be in the past, we have Rado. We just went over this. This is talking about a journey. It can be travel in a physical sense, like if there's some kind of move or something that you just went through, some kind of trip or move that you had to take, but it can also represent like a spiritual journey. This often requires you to take action, and obviously there's movement associated with this. And it talks about having to use judgment in the path that you had to take, making the right decision and moving forward without looking back. It's often connected with like an adventure, like something, a process you had to go through in the past. And overall, it's typically seen as enjoyable, even though any good adventure from like bumpy roads, like there's going to any kind of good adventure, there's some kind of obstacle you have to overcome. There has to be the story worth telling, right? And that's usually so that's what that's talking about in the past. So if there's something like that there for you, let me know. The second one is Othala. We got this one earlier as well. This is the home rune, and so this is in the present position, and this is all about your homeland and ancestral roots. Moving forward, it represents fertility, joy, peace, and plenty associated with the home. It can be a rune of wealth, whether it's material, spiritual, or knowledge, and it's a rune of personal development. This is also heavily connected with spreading knowledge to future generations and dealing with your legacy. Like, how are you going to leave a legacy with the people below you, or how are people going to remember you? So if there's something going on there, like if there's family that you've been connecting with, typically that's one way that we leave a legacy. It's also known as a rune of inheritance. So there might be something, or you might have had something that comes your way. But remember that not necessarily always like an inheritance, like either like from like necessarily death in the family or something like that. But that sometimes we get things because someone else loses things, or we had to give something up to give that thing. You went on a bit of adventures, going to a few places and meeting my ex and having a lot of fun before we broke up. Okay. Right now I'm studying for a big exam for your career. And then the one we have in the future position here is Kanaz. And this one is thought to represent the torch or be a symbol for light. So this is a rune of creativity, life, hope, and passion. Light keeps the dark away. It can represent fire and passion, and as in a lot of like mythological stories, the light and fire can represent wisdom. It can also kind of be feared. Sometimes the people becoming enlightened wasn't always what the people in charge wanted to happen. So this, but this is light, this is wisdom, this is passion. It's warmth, it's friendship, and it's love, and it's wisdom. And this rune can represent enlightenment and gaining and using wisdom. So that works right there with you studying for a big exam. So it seems like whatever you might be doing now, you might also be doing in the future in terms of learning. The light, wisdom. You know, there's the passion is connected to that rune also, Big Austin. So it'll take a few years to pass them all. Okay. Well, that makes pretty good sense then. I mean, it's in the future position. So it's talking about gaining and using wisdom. I mean, that's the main thing I have in my notes about this rune is gaining and using wisdom and passion. So as long as you're, this is also a rune of passion and creativity. And so as long as you have that lined up with what you're trying to accomplish, like you really want to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish, I think this is a good reading for that moving on down the line. And good luck. Good luck on your exams, for sure. I know that's always nerve-wracking. It aligns with inheritance too, since I will replace my boss that will retire once I pass them all. Oh man, that's perfect, because that's exactly what Othala was about, is about this legacy and inheritance. So that seems to make some sense for you then. Well, that's good. I'm glad that you were able to take something from that, Big Austin K, and thank you so much for letting me read for you. I appreciate it. I've never had to deal with any CPA exams or anything like that. I'm a history teacher, so I had to take like a few exams. Of course, all my classes, my college and my master's and all that. But I only had to take like 3 other exams. They weren't too bad. I didn't have to deal. Now, at one point when I was younger, I was getting like some tech, like Microsoft certifications and stuff like that. And I passed the first couple, and then I never kept going with it. What is going to happen with music? Ah, good one, CMC boss. Let's do another rune cast for that. See how that comes out. Yeah, they sound tough. Stick with it. The runes for a good omen, so. Okay, CMC, let's see what it has here. Okay, so right off the top, we have Rado inverted at the top for me. So we just talked about that one. Talking about the journey, the adventure of movement, using judgment in the path we take. They're like possibly being, roads that we have to choose between which way we go. But in inverted, this can also signify being careful about choosing the path and maybe finding unexpected trouble. Having a hard time deciding which way we want to go. Then we also have Manas, and that is inverted for me as well, which is the rune of humankind and self. It's a rune of independence, remain modest, a time to use the network of man. This is all about seeking out advice from others and accepting help that's being offered to you. It might show that you need to adopt a more positive attitude. This can be a time of unprecedented growth of the self. Instead of seeking credit for accomplishments or focusing on results, be content to do the task for the task's sake. But here we have we have this in reverse? And so when we look at this, it's going to indicate that you help isn't necessarily on the way, which I don't know if is necessarily a bad thing when it relates to music. This might be a time where you're supposed to kind of work on things in some cases independently. Chances are good that you'll run into all kinds of obstructions to try to create plans with other people at this time. All right, let's see what else we get here to see how this all connects here. Because these three are pretty closely connected, and we already know we have this home symbol here, this home rune. So let's go to the next one, and we will look at Fehu. Now this is representation of the bull. So we have a profitable time, a rune that says that you should be active, that if you work hard, you'll create your own luck. It can be a good omen for new beginnings, new relationships. And then we have Athala kind of in that neutral position there, which is all about moving forward. There's all that stuff about legacy and inheritance that we were just talking about. But here I get, for this reading specifically, I'm seeing personal development. Seeing personal development, having to make decisions about where we're going. Hello, Joe Roderick. How are you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. I don't know. What do we think, CMC? Do you have a lot of people that you're playing with right now? Or are you kind of looking for a group? I'm curious how this might relate. Because I'm getting a lot of stuff saying that working with other people isn't kind of working right now, which doesn't mean that it won't. But we got a lot of stuff about like working individually. The traveling, the adventure is kind of stuck inverted. Getting help from other people is kind of stuck and inverted. But we do have this like huge time of growth and self-introspection. So let me know if that makes sense for you, CMC. I have a group I'm playing with and another group that I really want to play with, but require some travel. Okay. Like I said, I don't know if this is telling me that probably won't happen. And this is talking about needing help, like, getting help from the people around you, but we have that inverted. So hopefully that helps some for you, CMC. I typically don't read a lot of inverted. When I draw them, I don't worry about inversions, but with the castings, I feel like I have to take that into account. And so that's what we got. Welcome in, Apples Lemons. How are you doing? I do readings. Thanks. It seems like the inversions were important in this reading. Yeah, I think they were. I think in a casting, which is one of the reasons I've stayed away from doing casting, because I just wanted to get more familiar with what I was doing and have more confidence before I got. Because not only in a casting are you looking at inversions more, but then you're also looking at like the distance and like what things are grouped together that are having effects on each other. And so it's a process for me. I'm just learning that. So hopefully we're able to take something from it. Okay, I think you're actually up next. Apples Lemons, would you like a tarot reading or would you like a rune reading? And let me see what I've missed, if I've missed anything in chat. I think I'm caught. Yeah, I think we're pretty caught up. A love reading. Would you like the runes or would you like tarot? I have rune stones. Either. Well, I've done all runes tonight, so let's do. I'm gonna try out a newer deck on you, Apples Lemons. These cards are still pretty much brand new, so I gotta break them in a little bit. Okay. All right, this is a new deck for me, so I got this deck a while ago, and I just haven't used it that much, and I need to break it in. So let's see where it takes us. All right, so we have the Ace of Horns here. The Ace of Horns is all about the rush of new emotions. The ripple of the water indicates some action despite the appearance of nothing to move the water. The horn is empty and ready to be filled with fresh liquid. It is the life force and will help keep its owner alive for another day. Use this new feeling to explore the connections it connects to you. This could be the start of a new commitment, a new relationship. Allow yourself to enjoy the flow, even if the emotion seems negative. It is telling you something. It is time to listen. So this is all about a new emotional connection. It's about trying to fill your cup, to trust your intuition, your compassion, your curiosity. You have the Eight of Horns. The Eight of Horns represents an opportunity to travel. Something is missing in your life, and now is the perfect opportunity to take time away, go in search of the peace. As the horns suit represents emotions, you could be looking for an emotional connection or a transformative breakthrough. Turning your back onto everything is not an easy task. There is no commitment to be taken seriously here. The Eight of Horns reminds us that the only way to reach a destination is to put one foot in front of the other and to move forward. So I think that could easily be connected with that Ace of Cups in terms of something new happening and kind of having to choose a direction that you're going to take there. And then we have the Five of Swords. And this represents the challenges that we face in life. Some are won and some are lost. All right, this card explanation goes into some Viking stuff, but the Viking way of life was constantly under threat from other cultures. They warred a lot with the Anglo-Saxons, who would come in and burn their land. Eventually, Viking culture would lose out to the growing European culture that embraced Christianity. Those who did not give their allegiance to the single God would be punished and their livelihood taken away. How we see challenging opportunities can define us as a person. Do you feel you have failed, or will you learn the lesson and strike back stronger than before? I think in a love reading we could talk about this being connected to past relationships we've had, and are we able to overcome relationships we might have had that failed before, especially when this card was talking about the bravery and having to make a decision and a commitment. And then here we have the Three of Swords. So I wonder how you feel about this, Apples Lemons, because I feel this card here is talking a lot about kind of feeling hopeless, kind of dealing with struggle, wanting to shut down and stop. But this is talking about movement and committing, and this is talking about the birth of something new. This, here it's the Ace of Horns, but it's the Ace of Cups. All this potential. There's all this potential. But then we have like what's going on here in the past, things that didn't maybe go so well in our past relationships that could lead us feeling like maybe new relationships aren't going to be successful either. But this first card here is saying that, everything is possible. You can completely fill this cup up, and you just have to make a commitment. You have to move forward to it. You have to decide what's right for you and then make that decision. Does any of that resonate with you, Apples, Lemons? Welcome in, Linguist. How are you doing? It's not you. Hopefully you're doing well this evening, Linguist. Hoaxer says he's very tired, but I'm doing good. Yes. Everyone was tired today. Everyone was wanting to take nappy naps. Hope you can get some rest tonight, for sure. I was right about Hagalaz. Oh no. I didn't want to pull Hagalaz for you. Linguist. So I'm not sure if you're still here, Apple Lemons, but if you're still here, that's the basic gist I'm getting from this read, is that there is definitely an opportunity here. There's definitely something that you went through in the past where maybe you felt hurt and you didn't know if relationships were going to be worth it moving forward. So you have to decide if you want to make that commitment. It hit. Oh no. You haven't been sleeping much either. Exclamation point join. And welcome in, Joshua Lee. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out. Your turn, linguist. What kind of reading would you like tonight? I'm doing tarot and rune. I've been doing rune cast tonight as well. So let me know what you prefer, and we'll get started. Tarot. Okay. Let's see what we have for you, linguist. We got the Four of Swords. I didn't do a Norn here. So let's just kind of see where we get with this. So with the Four of Swords, when you're facing a tough situation, your thoughts can circle endlessly in your mind, wearing you out but not leading to any useful solutions. It's tempting to keep doing that because you feel like you're doing something. The real answer seems counterintuitive. Take a nap. Naps take different forms. You could take a real nap or a metaphorical nap, such as meditation, a mindless distraction, or a different kind of mental game like a puzzle. Taking a break from a problem, according to the Four of Swords, is just what you need right now. Keep in mind that this will not make the problem disappear. It will still be waiting for you. The difference is that your mind will be refreshed, like pushing a reset button. Now you can see things differently, and who knows, maybe the solution will come to you in a dream. So, naps are a good idea. That's also kind of with that Hagalaz energy, though, from the other night, in terms of just because you have a blockage, just because you can't move forward right now, doesn't mean that you can't prepare and be ready for things when they get better. Because it's really just a short time. And then we have the Page of Wands. And for the Page of Wands, the young page's bold confidence wants to shine, but his fragile ego gets in the way. He fears looking ridiculous, but wants to jump into every new experience. His energy and instincts are among his greatest assets. When bored, he is edgy, unpredictable, and even dangerous. He needs help curbing his dependence on external validation, his anger, his frustration, and to be blunt, his temper tantrums in order to mature. Given the opportunity to explore, grow, and shine, he has the potential to be very powerful. And the Nine of Wands. Batten down the hatches and prepare for a siege. You've already been engaged in some kind of struggle or battle and have gained a short respite. Progress has been made, but the situation isn't over. Although, because this is a 9, it's nearly done. You just have to hold on a little longer. It is possible that the worst is over and maybe there won't be another attack, but you should remain cautious, guarding that which you've committed to protecting. How you behave in this moment, this transition between chaos and completion, will shape you because you are worn out. Your response will is more likely to rise up within you rather than be one based on calculated logic. Will you grow paranoid? Will you be a gracious victor? Will you demand payment in kind for every insult visited upon you? Will you abandon your commitment? So lots of similar energy here. There's definitely still Hagalaz in terms of there's not any path forward for the time being. But it is totally a time to prepare for when that time does come. How are you going to move forward? So take a nap. Take a nap, linguist. And be ready. You have all the potential. Take your nap. Plan out how you want things to be. And then when the time is ready to move forward, then you can make it happen. And I did have 2 others fall out. Or one was face up and one fell out at the end. And we had the Sun and the High Priestess. The Sun was looking at me. It was upside down in the deck. It was staring at me when when your other 3 fell out, and the Sun fell out on the floor. So while we're dealing, and I said for some reason, I typically just put them back in the deck, but I was like, for some reason, I need to keep these out. I didn't even look at them, except for the Sun. So we have this moment that we were just talking about before, and in your reading the other night, but there's really good stuff on the horizon. The Sun is coming, and you're going to have all the things you need to be able to share with other people. So I'm sorry you're having to deal with some tough stuff right now, linguist. But, you know, it happens. Sometimes we have to get through the tough stuff to get to the good stuff. And it's coming. The sun is coming. Joshua Lee, it is your turn. Would you like a tarot reading or a rune reading? Yeah, the sun is coming out tomorrow. The sun will come out. You want to know your future? Well, let's do this. I'll do a Norn reading for you with tarot. And one card will represent your past, one card will represent your present, and one card will represent your future. All right. Okay. All right, so for the past position, we have the Seven of Swords. And for the Seven of Swords, at first glance, it looks like this wizard is making off with some books. The haste and covered face make it look like he doesn't want to get caught. Is he stealing the books, rescuing them, liberating them? Sometimes the real story all depends on who is telling it. The Seven of Swords invites you to ask who is taking what from whom in this situation. They investigate why, what is the end goal. If you are the one thinking of taking something, even if it's for a good reason, you might want to consider a different plan. This one might be too dangerous or even too far from your guidance values to be right for you. You might feel like this is your only option. So this is talking about something in the past. So something in the past dealing with stealth, dishonesty, sabotage, sneakiness. Whether you were the one doing it or whether someone else was the perpetrator. But there was some dishonesty, something that was going on with you with dishonesty in the past position. In the present, we have the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands is all about vision, energy, determination, intention, business or career proposals, decisions having to be made for jobs.
Late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Reptar721, thank you so much for popping in and giving me the follow. I appreciate it. I absolutely loved your stream yesterday. So shout out to Reptar. If you are not following them, go give them a follow. I got a reading last night, a very wonderful reading. So let's do that real quick. Yeah, your reading for me last night was absolutely spot on. Like we talked about it in your stream a little bit. I hadn't seen you stream before, and so I popped in, and my reading was right on point. Right on point. And it was just like any good tarot reading. You heard exactly what you knew you needed to hear. You already knew it yourself. You just had to hear it from an outside perspective. So, going back to the reading we were doing. This is all about choices and decisions. You have to make a decision. There's a decision that needs to be made. Having too many choices can be overwhelming and can cause paralysis. Sometimes people just choose not to make a decision. Because it's not always as easy as it sounds. The real choice that you have in your present right now is between your true passion and a false passion. So you have to consider where that desire comes from. What is your true passion? Wands are the suit of courage, and you will need to use your courage to make the right decision. Joshua Lee. So we have some stuff going on in the past here. We have some shadiness. We have some not upfront things that we had going on here with the Seven of Swords. We have in our present a decision that we have to make, a choice of finding our real passion, which I think is a decision that that so many people have to make a lot of times, especially when it comes to providing and following a passion. And in the future position here, I'll move that over so we can see it a little better. In our future position, we have the Four Swords, which we just drew for Linguist just a little bit ago, which is all about now. And this is in the future position. So this is all about having to take that rest and not moving forward. It's a time for rest. It's a time for retreat. It's a time for meditation. It's a time for peace. It's a time for recovery and regrouping in considering. So Joshua, I don't see like a destination. You asked about what the future has in store for you. Here I'm seeing a situation where rest and consideration is in your future, which connects with what's going on evidently with the Two of Wands in the present. There's a decision that needs to be made, and in order to make the correct decision, you're going to need to take some time. Take some time for yourself. If it's a big decision, it's something that deserves time. Something that can deserve time. There's definitely a huge emphasis here on making the right decision and then moving forward. Hopefully that helps. Joshua, I hope you're able to take something from that reading today. Yes, if you are in chat today, go follow Linguist. Linguist is a wonderful reader who has also does some mediumship stuff in her streams as well.
A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Go follow Joe Roderick. Joe Roderick was hanging out with us, and He has some wonderful streams and has been doing a lot of stuff with the Terra community and trying to get stuff going and doing different stuff there. And is just a good person to talk to about what's going on if you're trying to talk some inside baseball about the streaming community. As I just said, definitely go follow Reptar. Excellent stream I found just yesterday, so it's awesome to see him in tonight. And tomorrow is the better half, Medium Jenny Lee, who will be doing our Friday night stream. So if you would like a medium reading, tarot readings, if you would like to speak to extraterrestrials, or any other thing, make sure you're following Medium Jenny Lee. Her Friday night stream is tomorrow. So there are some shout outs for all the folks in chat tonight. Joshua, is this good or bad? I think it's a good thing. We place a lot of emphasis on getting where we want to be. And I know sometimes it sounds like we say this a lot. Like I just know in the tarot community in general, you hear, it's the journey, not the destination. So make sure, I think this is emphasizing that, Joshua. It's the journey. There's an important decision coming up. At least that's what the cards are saying. You have an important decision to make. And all that future card is telling you is it's okay to take time. It's okay to take a nap. It's okay, metaphorically or not whether that's a real nap or whether that's I'm going to kind of meditate on this and think about this, and I'm going to give this I'm not going to make a decision today or tomorrow. I'm going to think about this for a while. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all, especially if it's a big decision. Now, I'm a Gemini, so I take forever to make a decision about anything, or I just end up like flipping a coin or something. Sometimes there's decisions that are worth taking the time to make a decision about. So I don't know if that resonates with you, Joshua, if that's something that you feel like you have going on, like there's something you kind of have to figure out, but that's what the cards are saying. Is there something you have to figure out, something you have to take some time with, and that's not a bad thing. Taking the time, I think, is a good thing. Because then you're not rushing an important decision. Thank you, hoaxers. Welcome in, Luce. How are you doing this evening? So I hope you're able to take something from that, Joshua. Hopefully you got something from that reading. And thank you for getting a reading. I appreciate it. You're tired of adults, but you'll be fine. I know how that goes. Or sometimes we're tired of being adults. I don't know. Okay. But we got to the end of the queue. I'm tired of being an adult for sure. I don't know why I was in such a rush to get there. Oh, man. I was in a huge rush when I was a teenager. Huge rush to be an adult. Didn't realize I had my whole life to be there. Well, the queue is empty. It is almost 10 o'clock. If anyone would like to jump in the queue, feel free to jump in the queue. If you don't want to jump in the queue, that's fine too. But I'll probably be winding down. If no one jumps in, we can hang out a little bit. You weren't rushing to be an adult, but life just put you there. Yeah. you're gonna get there one way or the other, I guess. Well, you know, as I say with birthdays, I guess it's better than not, right? Better to become an adult than not become an adult. Better to have a birthday than not have a birthday at this point for me. Yeah, I was kind of the same way. I was ready to go and adventure. Adulting is overrated. Joe, I completely agree. You'd love to move back with your parents so your mom could cook. Take care of the baby, yeah. It's fake news. Yeah, for sure. There's parts of it that can be fun. Adulthood wasn't like this, but some people have to change. Well, for sure. Yeah, we can get into that conversation about, you know, the things we have to do as adults, maybe we shouldn't have to do. Exactly. You were born old and been trying to undo the damage ever since. I was always a really mature kid. Kind of. I feel like. Like I liked talking to adults when I was a kid almost more than other kids. And I was told multiple times I was pretty mature for a kid. Like I kind of knew how to get along with adults. But once I became an adult, I felt like I was kind of really immature for an adult, if that makes any sense. Like I just quit. Like I was born as mature as I was going to get. Your brain just fully formed. That makes. Oh man, president of life. I don't know if I want that job either. Oh man, how long could we just like everyone be on vacation or holiday? That's I think that'd be my first act. Permanent holiday, permanent vacation. Do as thou willst. I wouldn't make a very good Is anybody else having bad smoke today? I know we talked about this a little bit at the beginning of the stream. We had pretty bad smoke today down in our way, down towards old Virginia. It was supposed to be a sunny day, but the sky was gray and hazy. And I take it Canada is on fire again. So it's clear where you're at. That's good, hoaxers. That's good. Take it. But yeah, it was pretty bad today. I had to go a little further north today, back to where we used to be at to get some more stuff out of storage, and it was really bad up there. Like it looked like fog rolling through the streets. Oh, I bet, Luce. I know you're so close to it. Yeah, for sure, hoaxsters. Yeah, that's what the alert even in Virginia said today was not to go outside. And if you had plans outside to see if you can move them indoor. We went outside for a little bit. It wasn't too bad this afternoon.
Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Welcome in, Northern Sphinx. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. It's going to be like that all summer in Michigan, Amber. Oh, man. Thank you, Northern Sphinx. I'm glad that you're enjoying the stream. Glad you're having fun hanging out. You're always welcome in. Airboss Ali, there's no smog here in Seattle. The last 3 years were constant wildfire smoke from Canada during summers. That's one thing we don't have to worry about too much where I'm at. In Virginia, we usually have, we have high humidity. The summertime in Virginia is 90, 91, 92 degrees and like 98% humidity. And usually, I feel like weather's changed a little bit here, but especially back in the day, we get like almost an evening thunderstorm every day. So everything was usually kind of damp and wet. And so wildfires were never like a huge deal here. Now we have family that lives in California and they have to deal with all the crazy wildfires they have out there. And I was like, man, that must stink to have to deal with that all the time. But this is the second time I've had to worry about it this year, and it's from so far away. Oh, well, that's good. At least, yeah, maybe that's a good reason. If you have the ability to take a vacation to get out of the smoke, maybe that's a good idea. I know not everybody can probably do that, but if you can, where you're at, you do feel the weather change. Yeah, our weather's shifted. Our winters start later and end later than they used to, and our June has been cooler the last 4 or 5 years than it normally is. Like normally in Virginia, the first week of June, you could go to the beach. Not so much anymore. It's usually still, the water hasn't warmed up enough yet. It's a little cooler. Everything got shifted back like a month, I feel like. Everything got shifted back like a month. Like the winter starts later. The winter ends a little bit later. We get snow sometimes. Sometimes we'll get like we don't get a lot of snow here, but sometimes it's like possible for us to get snow in April, which used to not be a thing. It doesn't really get real hot here till the end of June. It used to get hot at like the end of May. And then it stays hot here till about Halloween. It used to start to cool off about the beginning of October. So everything's gotten shifted back a little bit. And it could be very much, Joe Roderick, it could be, some kind of climate change for sure. We haven't gotten 100 degrees for the whole summer so far yet. No, we haven't hit 100 yet either. I mean, it's really just starting to warm up here even now. And we're going into the first week of, not that it's been cold, but it's been like 80s with like some days in the low 90s. And we'll see what happens. We usually get our 100-degree stretch at some point in July or August. So you're warming up a little bit, Hoaxsters. Yeah, we didn't get any snow really this winter at all. And we usually get 2 or 3 snows. And that could be anywhere from an inch to, a couple inches to, 6 or 7 or something. But we didn't really get anything this year at all. The smoke in central Indiana has been pretty bad too. It's been in the high 80s this past week. I'm pretty familiar with Indiana because that's where my dad's from. So I spent a lot of time visiting in Indiana. And it does usually get pretty warm in Indiana too. Like it usually gets pretty high. Like being further away from the ocean, Indiana usually gets pretty warm in the summer. We got snow off in there, but we used to get slammed with snow. It's been hot, windy, and wet. Is this what a monsoon looks like in these parts? That's the way it's been for us, Joe. We moved last week on Tuesday and Wednesday, and it was absolute torrential downpours the whole time. Like me and Jenny went to start loading up a truck, and we didn't have a choice. Like we had a deadline, and like we were completely soaked to the bones after loading up the first 2 boxes, and we had a whole house full of it. And then we just did it. We were just soaked the whole time, and it never let up. It just poured for hours and hours and hours. Frosty is still available for adoption. You have to talk to. You have to see if Jenny's want to take a road trip. Well, what part? I mean, you don't have to give away anything you don't want to give away. But what part of the world are you in, Joe Roger? Like the Oh, okay. Well, I lived in Cuba for about 3.5 years, and that's the way it kind of worked. And I don't know, obviously they're not the same place, but Caribbean, it was kind of like the same thing. It was like it would be hot and dry for most of the year, but around April, May, June, it would just downpour and everything would flood. And so they literally had like a rainy season and a dry season essentially, but the dry season was pretty much the whole year except for like May. And I remember because I would play baseball, and it was just like every time you were trying to play a game, it would get rained out. Yeah. Yeah, we definitely had it in Cuba, so I don't know if that's what you have over there, but it would make sense. Same area, kind of, roughly Caribbeanish. Yeah, it's a beautiful place, though. Um, I love living there. It was a great place. Yeah, not in those downpours though. it would just flood everything. Yeah, and all the schools, because it's so dry, all the schools were built to be like outside, so the hallways were actually outside. So you went from a door into your classroom from the outside, and there'd be like tile floor, but it was open, and in some parts they might have like a roof, kind of an open roof that was over you or whatever. But when it would start raining like that, they would have to cancel school because there would just be like torrential floods like going through the halls and the courtyards and stuff like that. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and call it for tonight. I'll see you. You can join me tomorrow. Medium Jenny Lee will be streaming, and we'll have some fun there tomorrow night. Let's see who we have to raid out to this evening. Who do we have on? Oh, we have the real Mr. Weird. We have the Mystic Village. Let's raid the real Mr. Weird. Thanks everyone who came in to hang out. Thanks everyone who got a reading. Thank you, Northern Sphinx, Joshua Lee, Reptar721, Heretic Williams Farms, Risika, for the follows. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for everyone who got a reading and just hung around and chilled out with me tonight. I will see you all soon. I'll be back on again Monday. And as I said earlier, I guess I'll see most of you tomorrow night over with Medium Jenny Lee. So let's go ahead and we will raid the real Mr. Weird. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.